Hi, I'm Wei Min Tan. I'm a Manhattan, New York property broker, and this is about whether you should buy a few single-family houses in a mid-size US city or one Manhattan condo that is going to cost the price of several single-family houses. This is the opening slide and some examples of our deals. The one on the left here is a pre-war loft-style condo that our investor client has rented out. Notice the high ceilings and the amazing views with a lot of sky, which is very rare in Manhattan. The one in the middle here is the terrace of our investor client's apartment. Having a terrace in Manhattan is a rare luxury. This is actually the client who suggested that I make this presentation. The one on the right here is a single family house in Raleigh, North Carolina, and this would be what we are comparing against when we are talking about whether to buy a few single family houses or one Manhattan condo. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, supply and demand. In terms of supply and demand, Manhattan or a big city would win out because there's only one Manhattan, there's only one London. And versus if you are investing in a mid-sized US city, the developers there tend to develop further and further out from the city core. So supply tends to increase as the population growth grows. But with Manhattan, Manhattan is a landlocked island. So everything is already built. You already have one building next to another and so forth. So to the extent that there are new developments, it's actually very small relative to total inventory. So supply and demand, Manhattan or a big city would win. Price stability, let's use COVID and the Great Financial Crisis as examples. For during COVID, Manhattan condo prices went down by about 10%. During the Great Financial Crisis, Manhattan property prices went down by 15%, while the rest of the US went down by about 35%. Great Financial Crisis as in the subprime mortgage crisis from 2008 to 2009. So Manhattan would have better price stability because of the demand and because of less supply. Rental return, the cap rate or the rental yield of a single family house in a mid-sized city would be higher than in a place like Manhattan because Manhattan prices are high and the operating expenses are higher versus single family houses. The prices are lower, operating expenses are lower, so the rental return is going to be higher. Diversification, single family houses would win out because for the same price you can get several single family houses, and if you lose one tenant you still have income coming from the other houses, assuming the price point is the same. For example, $1.5 million you get one Manhattan condo versus let's say 4 or 5 single family houses. So you get more diversification if you have 4 or 5 single family houses. Appreciation, I think Manhattan will be stronger because there's only one Manhattan, there's only one London, there's only one Paris. In terms of a hedge for the client's portfolio, I think Manhattan would show stronger appreciation simply because supply is a lot more limited and there's global demand coming from locals as well as from foreigners. And operating expenses, I think single family houses would win because for a Manhattan condo you have to pay common charges, and common charges are actually quite high. They go to cover the staff, which is perhaps the largest expense, and repairs and so forth. But with a single family house, you would pay property management fees and repairs as they arise. So from an operating expenses point of view, I think single family houses would win out. So these are the considerations when you're evaluating whether to buy a few houses, standalone houses, or to buy one or fewer units of Manhattan condos. It all depends on the price point, but basically for every few single family houses you get only one Manhattan condo. And that's a brief bio of myself, and thank you for your time.